Guys, Ms. Monster, what's going on? Oh man, sorry about them Bucks yesterday, man. Baker, he just can't get it right, man. But you guys got a date next week, on this upcoming Sunday, so excited for that. But we'll jump into this thing. Let's talk markets real quick. You guys can go over to the YouTube. Make sure you guys send me a DM. Um, you see Ms. Monster, she actually came in person, so she got that training directly with me. I would encourage people to lock in a deposit today to get your 4 days in person training before the new year. Get your 4 days in person training before the new year. So we're going to take a look at a couple of things right now. You got the QQQ. There's a couple of stocks that I'm watching. I'll share one. I put the rest in the Discord this morning, but I'll share one with you guys, and that is Robinhood. So Hood, ticker HOOD, and that's Robinhood. So pull that company up there for yourselves, Robinhood Inc. When you are looking at Robinhood, Robinhood right now to me is in a position where I'm expecting it to pull back at least probably to about 107, 110. That's kind of the area that I'm looking at. So I want you guys to watch those areas and those levels. So that 10, like I said, 107 to 110 is the area where I need you guys to look at. So 107 to 110, that's where I want you to watch. Miss Kelly, good morning, Queen. I want you guys to watch Robinhood potentially draw down to that area, right? So Hood right now, if you're looking at the QQQ, QQQ is down only about $2 this morning. But like I said last week, you would see Palantir, and as well, if you go to the 30-minute session that I did on Friday, towards the end of the business day, I told you that Palantir and Tesla would probably be red Monday morning, and we see that right now. So a little bit of selling there on Tesla. So the ARK ETF is where I'm paying attention to have maybe a little bit of selling this week. I'm a little bearish on the ARK ETF. So those are just my thoughts. The ARK ETF 257. So when you are looking there, expecting a move there on the downside. So we can see a move here. Um, let's go ahead and see. Do, 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 do. So once we can actually, see this move here, I would like to for us to, like I said, see this movement on the downside. So very, very, very important. Once we can get a break there, they're down. Um, Robinhood is coming down to like 107, 110. So you should have that. Levels this week to pay attention to on the QQQ though. On the Qs, you want to monitor and watch us to get above 626. So that's going to be the level in the area that you want to pay attention to the most. 626 right there. So 626 is where you're going to want to watch the most for Robinhood. So excuse me, for QQQ, 626. All right, so that's the level in the area that you want to watch closest, 626 on QQQ. If we don't get above there, it's likely that the QQQ rejects and then pulls back downward. On Hood, underneath, once again, that 110. So you are looking at Robinhood and as well there on the QQQ. Also, I want you guys to type in BTC, Bitcoin. All right, shout out to everybody that's just joining. We are live on the YouTube. And I see Miss Sonia said in person changes the game different. I keep trying to tell people, make sure you get in person. She put her bread up. She was the first person to actually execute on it over a month ago. She was the first person to come in, execute on it. She pulled the trigger immediately. All right, what's going on, Blue? What's up, my brother? So execution loves speed, and she came and she got what she was looking for. And she'll be back again in 2026 for a couple more days. So excited to work with you when you get back here. Hopefully those Bucks, Baker can figure this thing out, man. I would love to see Baker in the playoffs, man. He was over here giving me a heart attack yesterday. I'm saying every time I believe in him, Baker just I call him Baker the Faker. But nonetheless, BTC. I want everyone to put in the chat 74K. 74K. BTC 74K. If you're following on the YouTube, you should be able to see this bear flag. Listen, guys, we're at 87. We're staying right at the same spot. If you notice, Bitcoin doesn't really have any volume. What's going on, Blue? Yes, sir. Top of the morning. Appreciate you being here. Right. So if you are looking at Bitcoin, that's 74,000. We keep pointing that level out. We're gonna keep pointing it every time we can. I'm also bearish on Coinbase and MicroStrategy, particularly on MSTR and of course Coinbase. Uh, we are bearish there. MSTR puts are likely to print. So right now we're at 157. Underneath that 152, MSTR is going to go to 147. So MSTR puts, right, definitely are likely to print over these next few weeks, especially if BTC takes a move underneath 80K, right? So really watch Bitcoin underneath $80,000. I want you to watch that area and that level very closely. So BTC underneath $80,000. So 80K. Look for BTC underneath 80K. We are live on YouTube for those that may be wanting to see the screen. We do have live, and I would encourage people. We have right now, let's see how many people we have over here. It looks like we have quite a few. Hold on one second. We actually have right now here on the YouTube, it says we have 24 people. So 24 people. I also would encourage you guys to make sure you guys are subscribing to the YouTube channel. A lot of the things that we do on YouTube, you guys can find directly here. So I definitely want to encourage you guys to um, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Marshall White, what's going on? Good morning. So we're here always on YouTube. You can find all of the live videos underneath the live section. So just for you guys to know, if there's any times you may miss a live, go ahead and watch those live videos back, man. It's a lot of little games and nuggets that we're putting there. So MSTR, there's nothing really stopping this thing. Like another $30. I know it doesn't sound crazy, but think about it. If BTC falls, to that 74K, MicroStrategy is going to be down there to 120. It's probably one of the easier short setups there is on the street right now. So MicroStrategy puts to the downside, you got another $30 movement down. So remember, you're hearing that here first. Coinbase, similar thing. Coin, and shout out to everybody that tapped in last night to the 2026 stock and options playbook. All right, because we gave some really good analysis on Coinbase, right? And so if you were inside the community, they know they got a ton of game last night. If you were inside the community and you enjoyed the 2026 stock and options playbook, right? The first edition of 2026 stock and options playbook. I want you to put some fires in the chat. If you was in the room taking notes, you got a lot of game, was ready to go, put those fires in the chat. 2026 is right there. We did the 2026 stock and options playbook. Last year we did 11 out of 15. So 11 out of 15 is pretty solid. If you ask me, 11 out of 15 positions, that's a good completion percentage. We was just talking about Baker. I think that completion percentage is a little bit better than Baker's, right? So this year we had like 23 positions in totality. So we'll see what the percentage is. My aim is at least 17 to 18 of them to go right. That's my aim right now. You want to bat 100%, but obviously we understand that, if it happens, if it happens, we end up hitting 100%, cool. But I see the fires in the chat, count your blessings, 27. You know what I'm saying? I definitely do see, yeah, I do see Adrian. What's going on, Badir? Everybody who stepped into the building. So I encourage you to share this live with 5 people this morning. I want you to share this live with 5 people as we get ready to carry this party on. So you got Robinhood, like I said, looking there. BTC, Bitcoin, still looking like it's trading here sideways in a zone. You got Larone in the building. West Coast people stand up early. You know what I'm saying? I love when I see my West Coast people here in the building early. East Coast people can't make no excuses on why they can't make it to class. If the West Coast people is getting up and it's 5 a.m. over there, and if, they're here right here on this live, make no excuse, no ifs, ands, buts about it. They're showing up to be able to deliver. So definitely flowers and hats off to you. So you see the selling there on a couple of the ARC names. Let's take a look at Tesla and Palantir for today and this week. So TSLA, let's see. TSLA is right now at 469. Hold on one second. It's funny, we was just talking about MicroStrategy, and I get some news. Can't make it up. MicroStrategy just acquired 1,200 Bitcoin. All right. So 1,200 pieces of Bitcoin MicroStrategy just acquired. You cannot make it up. We were just highlighting them, and there they go. So funny when you start talking about the tickers and then it starts popping up on you. So yeah, looking at 470, right? So $470 here on Tesla right now. So a break underneath, oops, Palantir, PLTR. And then you got Palantir right now here at 186. I would not be surprised to see Palantir and Tesla both sell off. I like Tesla maybe to come back down to 458. So that's like a short-term trade. That's not really like a swing trade per se. That's more of a short-term trade. The only way that we're going to break out any further is if we can actually see a move above that 500 level. So right now, 500 is going to be the wall on this name. 500 will pose as the wall on this name. All right. So just keep that in mind. $500 will pose as a wall. Now, Palantir, $200 will pose as the wall. But like I said before, I would like to see Palantir come back down to about 180 bucks. So you got Tesla and Palantir look like they're both going to be selling off just a little bit, more so profit taking in my opinion. Both tickers did run up off of their lows. You got the ARC, which you could watch it underneath $78 if the ARC is to, peel back and push back down. So just keep your eyes peeled there. All right. Yep. And Tesla does have delivery numbers Friday, Annie, 100% correct. So that'll be Friday at roughly in the morning. You should get it by about 8:30. So Friday, of course, we know the market is closed on Thursday, right? So the market will be closed on New Year's Day. So do keep that in mind. The market will close up. So yeah, that's pretty much it so far for this morning across the board. I see Oracle's down a couple points, got Broadcom down a couple points, AMD down a couple points. Nothing really too much going on. Even Meta's down a couple points. The SPY is down $1.62. So we pull back there. So get your questions in while we are here. Get your questions in while we are here for just a couple moments before I knock out a couple things for this morning. You know what? I did not. I want to cover Microsoft because I did not cover Microsoft. Still within its range. So this is the thing about range bound trading action, right? Microsoft is still right here within this same range. So until they either get below 468 or until they get above, right? Until they actually go ahead and get above 500, they're going to be range bound. Just so you can keep that in mind. Right? They will likely be range bound until they can figure out a move upward or downward. So just my thoughts. All right. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Hopefully. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Any questions? Questions, questions, questions. What do you think the volume will be for today? I see a question here on the tube. Volume wise, I still don't think people have came back from vacation. So I do expect the volume to be light until J5, which will be next Monday. So January 5th, right? J5 until next Monday. So I do think that we are going to be pretty much light until then, right? So till January 5th, we are likely to just be range bound outside of a few different positions that may just have a nice quality setup. But the volume is probably going to be a little bit lower. I did notice that Alibaba ticked down just a little bit this morning. So when you are looking at BABA, double BA, Baba, remember this about Baba. I do anticipate that we pull back down at some point in 2026 to about 120 bucks. So about $120, I'm anticipating from a price perspective for Alibaba to come back down there, that 117, 120. At some point, I wouldn't be quite long Alibaba right now because I do think that we are going to pull back on there. So, yep, those are my thoughts on that. SanDisk on Friday hit 250. Back up there, 250. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Take a look at AM ZN, Amazon popped up on the docket this morning. So right here at 233, watch Amazon this week as well. AMZN may try to get on a post. They did break out of this falling wedge pattern. So do keep that in mind. So Amazon could be on the up and up. Watch AMZN. It's probably going to be a little sneaky this week, but AMZN 236 and then up top to 240. So just keep your eyes on AMZN. This upcoming week, Amazon gotta eat. We gave the price target for next year. We won't do that here on this live though. But for those in the community, you can go to the document and view. So yeah. Yeah. Questions, 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 questions. Questions, 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 questions. Now's the time. Get your questions in. Don't wait until later. Ask your questions now while we got a couple of minutes. It's 8:12. We got until about 8:20 here. So you got about another 8 minutes on this live. So we're gonna take some questions. Get your questions in. This week, economic calendar will be light again. So just not really any earnings. No corporate companies really, no major corporate companies reporting at all. But to definitely take the time to get your questions in here now. Take the time to get your questions in here now. Yep. Josh, what's going on? Miss Annie just asked a question. As far as Tesla delivery numbers, so real quick here. Uh, let's see. Delivery consensus. So just to show everyone, just to pull up these numbers, right? So right now they're quarter 4. They're expecting them to widely miss. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So they are expecting them to widely miss their numbers. So anytime that I see analysts weighing in and expecting a miss, that's already kind of being priced in. So that's why I think you might see a little bit of a trickle down, but it's already priced in. Definitely already priced in. I think they already know. So it's definitely possible for us to see a move here on the downside. On from these earnings, I mean, from these delivery numbers, it's definitely possible to see a downside move, but I think that it's already been priced in. Just my thoughts, right? So they're expecting a year-over-year decline, and it's no real surprise. So as far as from a vehicle delivery perspective, they don't have as much movement off of those vehicle deliveries that they used to from a stock price perspective. Yes, sir. Good to see everybody in here. So we got Walmart, questions on Walmart and then Netflix. So let's get WMT. Oops, hold on. There's no way. Mm-mm. Don't tell me. Trading View done took my Walmart away. That's just crazy. Walmart's always been charted. That's absolutely crazy. Maybe I probably did an example. I had to have done an example to where it's all good. Right. So entry level for price and cause leaps. Do you get in at 10 to 20% down from the yearly high? So entries on calls and leaps, I mean, it depends on a setup. It's not just because a stock fell 20% doesn't immediately make me say I'm going to jump in on a call. Because it's certain stock, though, it's more than just saying, okay, is a stock down 10 to 20% from a high that's going to make me get into a particular call option or leap option. I have to have some sort of macro level setup, right, to be able to get into a call, right, that I say, okay, this makes sense as to why, rationale, a fundamental thesis behind why I would be taking a call position that far out, right? If you tap back into yesterday's class, you'll see there's a couple positions. I'm not going to give them away here, but there's a couple positions that are recommended putting leaps on, and you'll see why from a technical and a fundamental perspective why I stated that. So that answer to that question is you can actually go directly to the class and you're going to see the answer directly to the question on multiple examples, right? So it's more than just, which is a great question. It's more than just a stock being down 15 or 20% from a high. Very, very, very important for you to know. The reason why I say that is a lot of times people, you could look at a stock like OKLO, you could look at tons of equities that might fall 20%, even NVO. Imagine if you just bought calls on NVO when it was down 15 to 20%. So it's more that goes into it than just that, right? So we'll get Walmart and we'll get as well Netflix. Netflix, we've covered a ton. So I will get that for you guys. Netflix is in a bear flag right now. So the move there on the downside, I'm not going to give everything away on Netflix, but what I will tell you is when it comes to Netflix, be looking to acquire some shares of Netflix in 2026. They are going in spend mode. So just know that anytime a company goes in spend mode, they are, obviously going to have some short-term financial woes, right? Like anytime you drop a bag on a company like Warner Brothers, earnings might be a little bit lighter from the standpoint of, well, not earnings, but guidance. Let me say that guidance may be a little bit lighter because they are looking to spend. Is your analysis levels for swing trades and for prices to invest in a stock? Correct. So it's analysis between stock pricing and fundamental pricing, right? So I look at price to earnings ratios, I look at cash to debt. So we actually have a fundamentals class tonight at 6 p.m. So this is why a lot of times people overlook the fundamentals, but the fundamentals help you point right in the right direction. So at 6 p.m., this is why being inside the community is so good because not only are we going to talk the technicals, we're going to talk the fundamentals of knowing where you're buying a company at, right? So when I'm looking at even Netflix, Netflix right now is in a good position from a price perspective, but not a great one. I still believe that Netflix can come down another $40. Some people are like, what is he talking about? Trust me on this one. Not to say it will, but I'm just going to say I still believe that it can come down another $40. And it's mindful to be where you're purchasing at. Because a lot of times people purchase too high, right? People wait until things run. Now on Walmart, my analysis would be this particularly Walmart retraced down from 117. Walmart, as you can see, is not really a high flyer. They don't move a ton, right? Now they had a great year in 2023 and 2024, right? But that was really an anomaly. Usually Walmart is a company that's more so consolidating and moves up over a period of time. So as far as Walmart right now, this is not one that I really trade, but I do think if we do get below 109, we can come down to 105. So NFLX, same thing. Like a lot of times people get caught buying in the wrong spots. Everyone became people's exit liquidity at 13, almost $1,400. So I'm looking for Netflix, like I said, before you would really think about getting a major position on this, I would definitely suggest that you look here at Netflix coming down, ideally to, I would say, I would say about $80, right? That $80 level points out pretty fluid to me. $80 a share is where I would be looking at 80 to 82. So 80 to 82. Yep. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to everybody. See you guys in the building. We got 2.3K, almost 2.28 followers on the YouTube. I definitely, like I said, I encourage more people to subscribe to the channel. We are nonstop putting value up here and making sure that people are good. So make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel. Like, subscribe, share the videos as well, so you know what's going on and you can stay in the loop to everything that's happening. So Netflix, those are my thoughts there, coming down to about $82 on NFLX. So we're gonna be wrapping up here in a second. It is right now. Let's see. It is right now here at 8:20. So final call, comments, questions, concerns. Comments, questions, concerns. Final call. Final call and opportunity. Final call and opportunity. Drabo, what's going on, man? Good morning. Good morning to everybody that's just special delivery. Harris, what's going on? Josh is in the building this morning, my guy. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Questions, questions, questions. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Questions, questions, questions. All right. What are your thoughts about Baba? You might have missed it. Yep. Good morning. So Baba, we're expecting them to come down to 120. So we covered that earlier today. So you might have just came in. Well, S&P recently stopped at 5-day winning streak. If we see a pullback today, what is the areas for a bouncing play? Mm, I would say probably around like 686, to be honest. Right there around like 686. The level is really 685, 89. So right there around 686 if it was to, but you should have these levels already there on your chart, right? Miss Sandy, good morning. Just, yeah. How do I feel about ETH? I got you on that. I'll get that in a second. 685 and then 682. All right. So those are my thoughts on the S&P 500. So, yeah. Yeah, we covered Baba not too long ago, but we are anticipating for them to come down to 120. I specifically told people I'm not bullish on Alibaba right now, and that's a reiteration of something that I've already said. So Alibaba 120 price target in the short term. All right, so 120 price target. I'm anticipating them to go back down there. So yep, Ethereum, right? So when you take a look at ETH, very simple. ETH is going to go the same way that BTC goes, but ETH right now is sitting here within a bear flag pattern. So if you're following on the tube, like I'm gonna tell you guys, like ETH is gonna be down to 2100 quicker than what you know. And when it comes down to 2100, I want you to come back here. I've been prepping people for months. Notice the commentary on BTC, the commentary on ETH that I've been given. I've been prepping people for months. I'm staying over a couple minutes. I just keep saying it every single time I'm prepping you guys. So get ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Get ready to go. It's very, 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 very important. Get ready to go. Super, super, super duper important. So, yep. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Yep. Get ready to go. Mm, 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 mm. Any questions? Questions, questions, questions. Last call. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get ready to just wrap this thing here. All those questions. We do have a fundamentals class tonight. So if you're not inside the community, this is why you need to be inside. Listen, show and prove every single day. Show and prove. 6 p.m. tonight, we have a fundamental class. So we'll see what the volume's like. If the volume is for all my people, we'll see what the volume's like. If the volume is dry and we're gonna just be staring at the screens, then there's no real need for a live trading session today. So we'll see what the volume's like when it opens up. But if it's good, we'll still do the live trading session. Right. But 6 p.m. tonight, that session is on. 6 p.m. fundamental analysis training. So be ready to go. Be ready to go. And let's get to it. So MU, we've covered that extensively. MU Micron Technologies has done incredible things for us. So MU, great way to close the year out for them. Solid price action. So yeah, flat day to start off. Flat day to start off. But for anybody, like I said, trying to get into the community, this is your shot, your opportunity. Make sure you guys lock in and get ready to go. So get ready to go. Shout out to Chris who came through. Shout out to Blue who came through, asked about ETH. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. So in the short term, crypto stocks go down. Also, cryptos, Bitcoin and ETH do pull back in the short term. You want to be a buyer of those drops in 2026. So you want to buy, those drops in 2026. Those are just really my thoughts. QQQ is here at 620 and change. Yeah, 620.98. Got to stay above 618. But yeah, that's really it. The volume will probably be a little low outside of some of the positions. Watch Hood. We kick this thing off. Watch Robinhood. Potentially would have moved down to about 110. Currently, they're at 116. So watch Robinhood this week. So appreciate everybody for their insight. And we'll go ahead and get ready to sign off here. Appreciate you.